Boker Tov, I'm Avi, and this is your daily Tanya for Wednesday, the 25th of Elul, September the 21st. We pick up in Igros HaKodesh, Epistle 19. In this in-depth Kabbalistic treatise, Tanya explains the difference between prophetic vision of the divine versus mystical perception, where altogether the latter seems to reach higher levels. It is more limited than the former. In today's lesson, the following question is raised. If Moshe Rabbeinu, Moses, was the greatest prophet of all time, how is it possible that the Rizal perceived levels of godliness which are loftier? Good question. Epistle 19. In order to enable the Ein Sof light, by definition infinite, to create worlds which are finite, an intermediary is needed to bridge them between infinite and finitude. This intermediary Torah is alluded in our opening verse. He enwraps himself with the light as with a garment. Now, with any intermediary must itself partake of each of the levels it bridges. Torah thus compromises both light and garments. The light of the Torah is infinitely inwardness, whose measure is longer than the earth. The garment of the Torah refers to its finite and revealed exterior, which relates to the finite world. In the latter before us, the Alter Rebbe explains how the revealed garment of the Torah has concealed within it the light towards the Torah, the Panemium of Torah. He also clarifies, or the Panemius of Torah, he also clarifies the difference between comprehension of the Torah and prophetic comprehension. He enwraps himself within the light as with garment. This verse speaks of light hidden with a garment. The Alter Rebbe will explain here how the light of Torah transcends revelation, is vested in a concealing garment. In the Kutei Korah by Rav Yitzhak Loria of blessed memory, the Arizal, in Parshat Ki Tisei, Parshat Vayikra, it is stated that Moshe, our master, peace unto him, not apprehend the Pimenius, the most inward and profound level of the supernal Chachma, which is called Abba of Atzilus. The degree of divinity called supernal Chachma is not limited to Sephirot of Chachma in the world of Atzilus. It also possesses a number of levels that transcend it, such as Chachma of Keter, Chachma of Adama Kadoman, and so on. The Alter Rebbe now explains that there only were these loftier levels in supernal Chachma beyond Moses' apprehension, but so too even the Pimenius of the Chachma of Atzilus. Example, the Abba of Atzilus. Not the Sephirot of Keter called Arich Apin that transcends Chachma, for the very name Arich Apin, the long continuance, implies a level of divinity of infinite extent and hence is beyond the reach of any soul clothed in the body. Rather, Moses is apprehended as far as the exterior levels of Chachma, which are vested in Bina. Unlike the interior and exterior aspects of Chachma, the exterior aspects of Chachma is capable of descending into lower levels of divinity, such as the Sephirot of Bina, which in turn is vested in the 7 lower Sephirot collectively called the small continuance, or Zeir Apin. The name implies the level of divinity which is contracted to within finite dimensions. In its spirit, the 7 emotive attributes are termed midos, whose singular form translates literally as measure, for it refers to the infinite and soft light when it is at the stage of having garbed itself in finitude in order to thereby become source for created worlds. The mystical principle of the Torah. The manner in which the supernal Chachma descends to Vina and finds divine expansion within the 7 immortal attributes underlies this divergence of halach ruling within the Torah. For the laws of the Torah, determining what is kasher, valid, versus pasul, invalid, innocent versus guilty, pure versus impure, and so on, derived from these emotive attributes. Ruling on what is kosher, innocent, and pure derived from chesed, the attribute of kindness. Rulings of what is pasul, guilty, and impure derived from gevurah, attributes of severity, and so on. Moreover, the supernal Chachma extends to the end of our 4 lowest Sephirot, Netzach, Hod, Yesod, and Malchus. The later of 4 emotive attributes are merely the extent of offshoots of the first 3 basic emotive attributes, Hesed, Gevurah, and Tiferes, which they actively cause to descend. There, Moses' prophecy apprehended the Paninius, the inner dimensions of Netzach, Yod, Hod, Yesod, and Malchus, whose function is to bring about the descent of loftier Sephriot within the worlds that are below Atzilus. However, this apprehension did not extend to the Paninius of the level of divinity transcended in Netzach, Hod, Yesod, and Malchus, but only in the external aspects of Chachma, which is vested in Bina, which in turn is vested and extended within the Paninius of Netzach, Hod, Yesod, and Malchus. This is the mystical principle underlying the teaching of the Midrash that the withered vestige of the supernal Chachma is Torah. The Torah is not undistilled essence of supernal Chachma, only a parallel delusion of this can find actual expression in the revealed aspect of Torah. On the level of Ze'epin, the dimension diminished and finite as explained above. This is what is written that Hashem said to Moses, "You shall see my back," hence suggested the hinder or the external aspects of divinity, but my face, the Panina, suggested Paninius, frontal or inward aspects of divinity shall not be seen, as exemplified in Exodus. Even Moshe could behold no more than the supernal Chachma, not its Paninius or essence. See there, Likutei Torah of the Arizal. Now, this seems surprising. After all, it is said, there rose no prophet in Israel like Moshe. How did Rav Yitzhak Luria, the Arizal of blessed memory, apprehend more than he and expound many themes during the dealing with the Paninius, even of many Sephriot and levels that transcend Chachma and the Keter of Atzilus? Yet, the Arizal writes that Moses' prophecy did not enable him to grasp the Paninius of Chachma of Atzilus. The takeaway of this deep, deep lesson in Epistle 19 is Moses, the father of all prophets, did not merely have vague visions of divinity of Hashem, God forbid. Rather, he attained an intimate vision, like understanding of Hashem. Albeit, it was not an appreciation of the essence of Hashem. Moses communicated to the Jewish people a visible truth. Azai Gazun, Kol Tov, Itzlach Harabah.